Let's talk. Hi, I'm Lisa Todd. Welcome to this week's episode of end.formants, END.formants. You can find us on Facebook. This is the last episode of this series of the show, and I want to thank everybody who was a part of it. The likables on the Facebook wall, which the Facebook page will stay open. And in May, we're going to relaunch the show with a whole new format. So this is the last time that end.formants will be the way it is. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for that. It's our world. Let's talk about it. So, Jenny, what was your favorite show?
I really liked the one where we talked about religion.
Okay, very good.
That was a lot of fun for me.
Good. Julie, what was your favorite show?
I really liked the one where we talked about religion as well. It's really happy to be able to express my opinions on that, because I think some of the things were quite controversial perhaps, and I've always had to maybe hold back from saying those things, so it's great that I had the opportunity to express myself. So I enjoyed that.
Good. Paula, what was your favorite show?
I really liked the one when we had a farting contest.
We didn't air that show.
I missed the best shows.
You did, Brian. And then the one about religion, too.
That was your favorite one, the one about religion, Paula?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess my favorite show was the first show that we did, because I was very excited about it. It was at a time when we were, the next day we were going to either have the same president or change presidents. So we were, it was the voting show, and I was really excited about that. And I also like when the wall was a lot more active, and people were actually giving us topics to talk about. So that was my favorite bit about it. But we're going to talk a little bit now about where we're going in directions, and I'll just speak for end.formants real quick. That end.formants is going to go on hiatus for a couple months, and when it comes back, it will come back under a different format. And I'll also be working on some shorts and short webisode as well that's scripted. Jenny, what are you going to be working on?
In the next couple of months, I'm going to be publishing a new novel. So, and I'm also working very hard on writing up a treatise. Okay, I'm also working on the premise that if we legalize marijuana, we will really cut down our debt. And I'm still looking up all the numbers and stuff, but I'm going to write that up and get that published somehow. I'm not sure how yet.
Very good. Okay, Julie from the UK, what have you got on the horizon for you?
At the moment, I'm working on my blog, which is www.newrsunshine.com, and that's all about how to keep a peaceful mind and enjoy living. So I'm really enjoying that. I've been studying a bit of philosophy and writing up what I've learned. And I've also got a short story which I self-published on Amazon, which is really exciting, and that's allowing me to learn how to do self-publishing. And so I'm going to be putting up a couple of novels onto Amazon in the next probably 6 months or so, and basically becoming a indie author entrepreneur, which is very exciting. After receiving so many rejection letters for the last 5 years, it's very empowering.
It's liberating, isn't it? It's very liberating. And let me just say this: I will at the end of this show, I will have links to everybody's information that they want me to link to the end of the show. So please let me have that information, and I will link it to the end of the show so that people know. Also, you can hit some of us up on Twitter. Julie's information's always up on Twitter. It's Julie Farrell, Farrell. What is it, Julie? Go ahead. You say it.
Okay, Julie, ANA Farrell. So Juliana Farrell.
Juliana Farrell.
Yeah,
That's your Twitter. Very good.
that's
And
my
Jenny, you don't do Twitter, but you're on Facebook. Jenny Reed on Facebook.
Right.
And okay, so Debbie, what is it that you're going to be working on in the future? I know that you were only part of Informants for a short period, but I want you to know that you've done a very good job, especially because one time you came in on the last minute to help us out. So I mean, you've really done a great job. So what are your plans for the future? Can't really hear you though.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Yay for WB. Actually, this is a good segue to discuss what I'm going to be doing. I'm very interested in animal rights, so I actually joined a meetup group in Fort Lauderdale that they leaflet and they go to different events to try to promote animal welfare regarding factory farming,
Uh,
or actually against factory farming. So I'm going to be working a lot with them, and unfortunately, I won't be able to make too many shows because of that.
Debbie, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Brian.
You are aware, aren't you, that a number of states are being pushed to pass laws which will make it a felony to sneak out information from these factory farms? Are you fighting those laws?
Yes, it's the law that's gonna block private investigators from going into factory farms and doing undercover filming.
I would like to just say something because Debbie's being shy. She has started her own group called CAFF, CAFF, and she is quite the advocate and has done a lot of good work promoting animal rights. And I go to a women's meeting that has quite a following with about 40 to 60 women every week. And I was sitting at the meeting a few months ago, and the question was, what is your passion in your life? And a woman I've never seen before talked about how she just joined CAP. I was very proud because that is my roommate's organization.
That's very good. Good for you. I'm glad that Paula mentioned that. And please,
Thanks, Paula.
if you give me that information, I certainly will pass it on. We supposedly have quite a few followers, and I'd like to think that the majority of them are animal right advocates. So Paula, what is it that you're going to be working on? What's your...
First, I want to give a shout out to a new friend of mine, my Hermoso. I tug in my ear like Caroline Burnett, saying she knows what that means. Anyway, I'm writing a book. I have chapter done. I've been writing this book for a while, but I never really put a lot of effort into it. And I am now. I'm also going to be probably appearing on a gay radio show, a local radio show. I've been asked to appear. So I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'll be able to be on the next iteration on Informants, but I'll do my best. And I appreciate the opportunity, Lisa, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to honor that. Just working a lot on my writing and my music and becoming rich and famous.
Well, you're already famous anyway. So, Brian. So, we're recording again. We're going to get Paula and Debbie back on. We had some technical problems there. So, anyway, sorry, Brian. What were you saying?
Well, I guess you were about to ask me what I'm working on right now.
Well, I wasn't going to really do that.
No?
Of course I was going to do that. However, I actually wanted to ask you while Paula was on. Okay, so, Brian, tell us a little bit about what you're doing, where you're going.
Well, all right. One thing I did, I put up a new Facebook page, which I call Progressive progressive platform in politics 2014 plus, it starts with the idea that while the far right has the really big money, what people in the center and center left and so forth have are ourselves, and also the connections we have between us. And I'm seeing if it's possible to start a sort of network which can become a campaign and which, hopefully, because of the volume and strength of connections between people, might be impervious to big money. That's the idea.
Okay, and you were talking before about about how the more that you go to the left, the more money the right makes. You had said something.
No, that's not what I said at all.
Okay, please go ahead and please, I got it wrong.
Because we know, like George Soros, who's way on the left, is richer than any righty there is.
No, not so. He compared to one Koch brother, let alone two.
Billionaire, Ryan. Come on, Soros. Come on.
Soros is a dwarf. Soros has about 5 billion. The Koch brothers together have 10 times that. 50 billion effing dollars.
So does Soros. He
Soros,
dumped the economy with its hedge funding. Come on.
Soros has maybe a tenth of what the Koch brothers have.
Still has a lot.
5 billion is still 10% of 50.
Billionaire. Hey, you know what? If Soros is so concerned about the dirt poor, why doesn't he donate all his money to charity, like Obama? Why doesn't Obama, with all of their millions, he and the wife stop jet setting around the world on the taxpayers' money?
Obama donates a larger percentage
No, they don't.
than the Bushies do.
No, they don't.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah, where are you getting your facts? Tell me your sources, Bobby. That's not true. The Obamas are sweet. They're cheap when it comes to
mostly.
Huh?
The Daily Beast, mostly.
The Daily Beast.
Okay, well I'll tell you the Obamas, because I've done a lot of research on this. The Obamas.
Okay. Where?
I've done the HuffPo even had an article. The liberal HuffPo has even said that the Obamas are one of the lowest donators to charity. The HuffPo said that. Okay.
Popo?
HuffPo is
The Huffington Post.
The New York Times said it too. The New York Times said it too.
The good gray lady, yes.
The Obamas are cheap. Look, they take more vacations than anybody. They're sticking it to the taxpayer.
Oh, no, they don't. Obama has taken 1/4 of the time Bushy had.
Bush went to his Texas ranch, and he didn't stick it to the taxpayers. The Obamas, in the wake of Hurricane Sandy, they flew to Hawaii to the tune of $4 million of the taxpayers' money so that transvestite wife of his could lay in the sun.
Most of it on staff.
I don't care when Americans are starving and we just get hit with the worst hurricane disaster and people are freezing on the streets. You don't go to Hawaii on the taxpayers' money.
Wait a minute, now hang on a second. We do have some other. Wait a minute, we do have some other people. I just, usually I wait for somebody to put their hand up if they want to jump in, and I don't see anybody putting their hand up. So please, if you do, wait, Brian, hang on.
Okay, Brian, so you're saying there's nothing wrong with days after Americans are on the streets in freezing cold weather and New York is still suffering horrible losses from Hurricane Sandy, that our president and his 6'8" wife with a penis flies to Hawaii to the tune of $4 million. You don't think that's despicable?
Wait, I just have a question. Wait, I have a question, please. Wait a minute. I have a question, please. My question, Paula. You have a disdain for the first lady. I mean, it's clear. I just want to know. I want to know why.
too many.
Wait a minute. I want to know why. Please.
All right, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. When somebody in America is blessed enough to live on the greatest country on earth, sorry, Julie, but we're a great country, and they go to Princeton on affirmative action, that this country gives them a leg up just because to the color of their skin. And then they say, for the first time in their adult life, they're proud of America. Shame on you. Then he writes to a Princeton thesis that they sealed when her husband was running for the presidency. Her thesis was all about how a white man is holding black men down. She is a racist.
That's not what she wrote. I read.
Yes, it was. I read the thesis.
I read the thesis myself. Damn you.
I read it too. What was it about, Brian?
It was basically about how she felt she's not sure whether or not her white classmates view her as having the same right to be at Princeton as they do. She asked
Listen to me. Let me. Okay, and also, he was disbarred. He doesn't have a law. Her laws. He's not a lawyer because of fraud. Our first lady was disbarred because of fraud. And you wonder why I disdain her? Hello?
A fraud how?
No.
Yes, we do.
No.
Let it be on tape. I don't care.
Come on, Lisa. We'll get ratings. Arguing is good. Start taping.
I am taping.
Oh.
Good.
Brian, let me tell you about who the traitors are. Barack Hussein Obama and Michelle Robinson Obama. Let me tell you, when Michelle Obama was in Harvard, wait a minute.
All
When
you're
Michelle
repeating
Obama,
is
let me
about
finish.
the planters and peckerwoods of Texas.
Oh, please! It's all about racism, but they're the racists, Brian.
Hang on. We got a hand up, guys. We got a hand up. Got a hand up, Debbie. Debbie, go ahead.
Lisa, let me finish my point. No. He's just accused a critic of the Obamas.
No, not everyone. Not everyone.
Okay. What part of the Obamas? Wait a minute. What part of the Obamas don't you get that they're racist? Barack, and let me finish my thought. Barack and Michelle both praise Derek Bell. Derek Bell is the father, and James Cone they're the fathers of Black liberation theology. I'll tell you what Black liberation theology is.
I know what it was. I read it. I've read it. I know what it is.
Well,
I have my doubts about James Cone when I first read him 30 years ago.
Let me explain to the panel. Let me finish, Brian. Let me finish. Black liberation theology teaches that back before white man was created, there was a mad scientist named Yakub.
You're mixing up the Nation of Islam with
Let me
liberation
finish.
theology. The two are not the same.
Yes, it is. Yakub, through a mad experiment, created the white man, and the white man was a failed experiment because we lacked melanin. This is what these crazy people believe.
No, that's what crazy people have mixed up the two. The two are not the same. They are very different.
No, what is Black liberation theology, Brian?
Black liberation theology says that as long as the blacks are at a disadvantage, that God has a special place in his heart for them. That's basically all it boils down to.
Okay,
has a preferential option for the poor worldwide.
Brian, unfortunately, Paula didn't hear that, but I would like Debbie to be able to say something. Debbie, you were trying to say something. What was it, Debbie?
Go ahead,
Don't say anything, Debbie, because we can't hear you anymore. So, Brian, go ahead, Debbie. You're back. Go ahead.
No, but both sides, Democrats and Republicans, they spend, going back to the spending, I mean, no side is better than the other, really, when you look at it. Okay?
Okay. Well, obviously you're entitled to your opinion. I mean, obviously, and I got to tell you, I kind of agree with it because there's individuals on both sides, and you know, I think it's probably pretty evened out. Paula has her hand up.
I just want to respond to Brian's definition of black sanitized. Sanitized, cleaned up, whitewashed version of black liberation theology. You're wrong. And I'm going to, no. Okay, let me finish. Louis Farrakhan and Jeremiah Wright teach black liberation theology. And what they believe is the white man is the devil and needs to be destroyed. That's what it is. Don't tell me it's just because they're oppressed. Oh, come on, Brian. That is not black. I'm telling you. Read Derek Bell and James Cone. Those are the fathers of black liberation theology. It's all about how white man needs to be destroyed, and we've held them down. You know what? My people didn't come to America until the 1920s. My people are from Russia, Romania, and Austria. My people didn't hold anybody down. My people were held down in the gas chambers of Auschwitz. So stop hating me because my skin color is lighter than yours, for God's sake. Stop it.
Brian, I don't think that Paula meant that she directly thought you were hating her.
No, I don't think Brian hates
Right.
me, but the Obamas do.
Right. Well, and I certainly don't want anybody to think that Brian, that was made to Brian.
Brian loves me, and I love him. Lisa, the Obamas hate me because I'm a Jew. You get it?
I hear what you're saying.
They hate Jews. And you know what, Brian? No other first lady in recent times hated Jews. You hate Jews, I don't like you. That's how it works in my life. You hate Jews, I don't like you. You go to a church for 20 years with a reverend that says the Holocaust was rock on and Jews need to die. You know what? And they give the highest tribute award to Louis Farrakhan, who calls himself the Black Hitler. I'm not going to like you, and you should never have been elected as president, you see. But it's called white guilt because if it was a white president running and he went to a white church and David Duke was the reverend, he wouldn't have had a chance to run for president.
This is so straight out of Atlas Shrugs.
Hang on a second. Debbie had her hand up. Debbie.
I'm just glad that we lived in a country where we're able
Debbie,
to...
you're all gargled. I don't.
You need to sign out and sign back in. We can't hear you.
You're all gargled.
Okay.
Just come on to our hangout. Okay, so I'm sorry. Brian, who was the last one to respond to that? I think it was Paula. Brian, what's your response to that?
Sounds so out of Atlas Shrugs.
It's Atlas Shrugs. Why does it? Okay, wait a second, Lisa. I'm going to be very calm about this, and I'm sorry for the passion, but when you hate Jews, I get a little crazy. Okay, I'm going to be calm.
I'm not sure they do.
No. Okay, now you're gonna make me crazy again. See, that's the thing. He's doing this to me. Your fault. All right, Brian, darling. What part of the Obamas in the Trinity Church of Chicago, where they spent 20 years sitting, listening to a reverend?
Well, left us thinking there.
Personally, I think the Reverend had plenty else to talk about.
Wait a minute, Brian. I want you to be aware that Paula can't hear you, just so you know. She's gone. I mean, now she's coming back, so they're having issues on their end, apparently. Okay, go ahead.
Brian, the fact that you would deny that the Obamas are anti-Semitic, considering their ties and affiliation with a anti-Semitic, Jew-hating church for 20 years, where they were not just congregants, but best friends, and the Jew-hating Jeremiah Wright was their mentor, is mind-boggling. And the fact that how Obama treats Israel is what do you want me to do? What do you want him to do? Come out with a swastika? Will that convince you?
Well, Debbie?
No, because if he came out with a swastika, you'd say, oh, it's not really a swastika. It's the symbol for the Smurfs. It's not really a swastika. Come on, dude.
I'm not going to even bother with that.
Huh?
Well, I'm not trying to pick sides here, but I have heard from more than one Jewish person that the opinions of the Jewish people are that Obama does not like Jews.
He doesn't, Lisa.
They're changed.
Ryan, you're the only person in the United States that thinks he likes Jews.
No,
Mazel
I'm
tov,
not.
darling.
Not by any means.
Yes, you do. You're saying he doesn't hate Jews. Why would you think he doesn't hate Jews? Next, you and Obama are going to be having like a Pesach Seder together.
What?
That you guys are gonna have Seder together. You know, the Jewish Seder with Yom Kippur is coming.
He is having a Seder, I think, in the White House.
Right, of course, because he wants to make nice. That would be like Adolf Hitler wearing a yarmulke. I mean, come on.
It. I'm out of here.
Okay, well,
That did it for Brian.
Brian has decided to end, which is unfortunate, because I do want to promote Brian's. Let me finish, please. I do want to promote Brian's political platform page, so hopefully he'll get that information to me, because I'm sure that there are people that, you know, have the same beliefs and ideals as he does, in all fairness to him.
But Lisa, I need to say something. The Hitler comment was a little over the top. I don't think Obama's like Hitler. It's just when somebody is arguing with me that the Obamas are not anti-Semitic, that is really personally offensive to me. I know, Brian, I want to apologize to you. The Hitler comment was over the top. It really was, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't compare Obama to Hitler, and when people do on Facebook, I always take them to the wall for that.
Brian, unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself.
No, he's talked. I heard him.
Oh,
You're good.
I can't hear him.
Well, he needs to talk.
We can't hear you, Brian.
Oh, that's why it was
There
too
she is.
much.
Well, but sweetie, okay, I don't compare Obama to Hitler, but he's a Jew hater. Obama hates Jews, and every Jewish friend of mine, other than the lefty Kool-Aid drinking Jews, who are, in my opinion, out of their friggin' minds that they don't see as Jew hatred. But then again, they're the same Jews that defend Obama are the same Jews that argue with FDR about letting Jews come here and escape Nazi Germany, and the same Jews that threw other Jews into the gas chambers called Papos. Those are the Jews that support Obama nowadays. I'm sorry. And I have many friends that support him. And you know what? Those people, you know what? My friends that support Obama would not be throwing Jews into the gas chambers, but I gotta tell you, I don't understand how they can support him. It's crazy.
You should have been Queen of Israel instead of Saul King. You would have definitely obeyed Samuel.
Wait, what?
Brian, Paula didn't hear you.
You should have been Queen of Israel when Saul was king. Then Samuel would have had nothing to complain about.
I don't understand.
Meaning that all the Amalekites and everything they had would indeed have been wiped out completely.
Well, Saul should have listened to God. When God said wipe out the Amalekites, he should have let the king of the Amalekites live. Because he's the one that produced Haman. You know, the guy who killed, like, all the Jews who tried to destroy us?
Yes.
Remember? That guy on farm? That was the Amalekites' descendant. But Saul was, by the way, Saul was manic depressive. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh.
All right? Yeah. And thank God David took over, because if we had another Saul, there would have been no Jewish people.
No Hebrews.
Jenny, do you have any comment to make about this, Jenny? Does this anything to say?
One Jew comes from one tribe, that of Judah.
I know.
Debbie, do you have any comment about this topic?
Not really. I'm just glad that we're, as a country, are able to talk about this stuff, because anywhere else we would have all been killed.
Not anywhere else. There is most of Europe.
Yeah, I think that Julie's allowed free speech. Am I correct, Julie? You were allowed free speech. We might take that away from you in a minute. So, I don't know what else to talk about. This was a reunion show and a platform for people's further venues. So, I think that pretty much leave people in suspense over Paula and Brian here where they could go in their political careers, perhaps. And hopefully, you guys will send me all the information that I need within the next 24 hours for me to put it on the end of this recording.
Well, Lisa, can I ask Brian one more question?
Sure.
Brian, if I was around in biblical times and I was king instead of Saul, do you think that we'd have less enemies right now?
Less enemies?
Yeah. Do you think there would have been fewer Jewish deaths?
Damn hard call.
Huh?
It's a hard call.
Well, you just said if I you said if I was queen of Israel back then, or king
On
of
the
Israel.
one hand, we have plenty more people openly afraid of us. That's one thing. Whether they would like us is, I think, rather an open question.
Does that answer your question, Paula?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're gonna end Informants, is the way it is, and wish everybody a lot of luck. If I could get some goodbyes from and thank yous for the viewers watching us.
Bye.